Dr. Walensky, a couple things. As I walked in, I came in late. Either you or Dr. Fauci were saying that the reason that we're not saying that natural immunity is protective as is a vaccine, even though there's recent publications showing that 6 to 8 months out, 92% of those with natural immunity have T cells, B cells, and antibodies that would be considered adequate to protect. And indeed, B cell continues to climb. That we don't have data. Now, in your response to Mr. Casey, you just mentioned that CDC has access to tens of thousands of EHRs. And I've been told that HHS or CDC has access to patient-identifiable data as to who tests positive. So I do that as a prologue. If we don't know that natural immunity confers protection against future infection, it's because we've decided not to look. Because I've learned that there is a cohort of people that we know have been previously infected. We've got the bench research showing that the triad of antibodies, T cells, and B cells are there, and that 92% of them are still there at 6 months out. So why have we not done the research showing that natural immunity confers protection against recurrent infection?
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to clarify this point, because I understand the question. First of all, let me just reiterate that our current stand after reviewing 96 papers and a scientific brief on this issue is that everyone who's been previously infected should be vaccinated.
But that's not my question.
Right, agreed. And part of the challenge here is, as you know, the infection-induced immunity and the biases associated with retrospectively looking at the data. Several of those papers that we reviewed for that brief have demonstrated that the kind of disease that you had at the time you had it matters. Did you have disease a year and a half ago?
At a Senate hearing, Senator Bill Cassidy pressed CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky with a very direct question. What % of CDC employees are vaccinated? It was meant to be a straightforward inquiry, but the exchange quickly became tense. Cassidy asked for the number because the CDC had been strongly encouraging vaccination nationwide. He wanted to know whether the agency leading the national response was following its own guidance internally. When he first asked the question, Walensky didn't give a percentage. She said she didn't have the exact figure in front of her and that the CDC was still collecting data. Cassidy wasn't satisfied. He repeated the question more pointedly. How can the CDC recommend policies for the entire country if you don't know the vaccination status of your own employees?